G'day, good evening, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. My name is SheepDog74 and let's get into this one then. So we're back on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, and hopefully you guys have been watching the previous episodes in this series. If you haven't, then I recommend that you should. And yeah, happy 4th of July. It's Thursday as of when this video is coming out and when I'm recording the voiceover. So yeah, big up America Independence Day. Well done for being free from us. And yeah, you can see the amount of progress we've made in this game. 14% of the total game has been completed. Another thing important about today, more importantly for Britain, is that we've got a general election. I've already voted, but so that's good from me. And I recommend that you should vote if you're in Britain, but I'm not going to be saying who I voted for because I don't want to influence your decision or anything like that. But away from all the politics, we've got the ultimate road car preview event that I've decided to choose, and we're going to be driving in the McLaren in a volcano orange because I felt like that looked more like a McLaren sort of orange. 3 minutes and 8 seconds is the target time to beat for gold. Sunny conditions. You have to unlock this car at 620,000 bounty. We're quite a ways away off that with 1,117,000. For us, 8.7 miles is the track length, 10 AM is the start time, and let's see what we can do here. So this event is quite long and it's all about just trying to make sure we make as little mistakes as possible. So while we're driving along here, there's a few things to look at as well. Need for Speed Unbound, the most recent Need for Speed, is getting an update which apparently adds some sort of stuff to do with Hot Pursuit, this game, which makes sense because they're both made by Criterion, as well as Burnout Paradise is also made by Criterion, and I've been doing a series on that, so you can check that one out. You can also follow my Instagram as well, Chief_Dog74. But yeah, it's quite interesting that they're releasing an update from now, which is based around this sort of game, I think it is. So yeah, it could mean that I come back and play it as we wind through the mountains. But I also saw that a YouTuber who's a lot bigger in sub count than mine, and a YouTuber that I enjoy watching as well, Black Panther M8, he made a video comparing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered and also Rivals, and yeah, I thought it was actually quite a decent video. Obviously Rivals ended up winning, which sort of makes sense. You'd hope it would win because it came out in 2013, whereas Need for Speed Hot Pursuit originally came out in 2010 and the remastered version came out in 2020, I think. And yeah, the remastered version added a few changes, but not really anything major, just sort of graphical improvements and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I agreed mostly with what he said. I never played Rivals, but I agreed mostly with what he said. I thought that the music though in this game was actually quite good. Like I like a decent amount of the tracks in this game. Obviously I have to turn it off in these videos because it's got copyrighted music. But and yeah, I haven't heard Rivals soundtrack, but I actually liked the soundtrack for this game pretty, a good amount. Though I do agree that it is pretty much like 2010 sort of music, but I actually like that sort of stuff, so maybe it's not as good nowadays. But yeah, in general, Rivals probably is better. I think Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is still really good, and I think it would be more loved at the time if it wasn't called like a Need for Speed. Like, if it didn't have that name, I think it would be loved even more. But as we come towards the end of this event then, we're looking pretty tight on time here as we wind through the final corner pretty much. Head down and across, trying to reach the goal. As we slow it down here, we just about crossed the line at 3 minutes 7 seconds and 83 what is that, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, tenths, 83 tenths, and the goal was to try and get there in under 3 minutes and 8 seconds, so we just about did that, and of course the goal is achieved to us, and in doing that we also are able to level up to the next level of our license, level 4, or wanted level 4 should I say. So in our target and our reward for seeing us is to being called on site by the SCPD. So we also get the Subaru Impreza WRX STI as well. Seems really weird how we've had to wait so long to get it, but glad that we've got it now. Of course, my favourite car, and we've had it for ages on the police side of things. But now we look to do the Lightning Reflex Rapid Response, and end up using the Dodge Charger SRT8, because that is a new car that we've got for this series. So it's rainy weather, sunny conditions, but weird sort of crossover conditions. 3 minutes 32 is the time to beat. Let's see if we can do it.
Central to all units, officers require assistance on Boulder Road. Training exercise, but you will be evaluated as if this was a live situation.
So already not off to a good start as we get a collision trying to go into the police station here. As we put on the blues and twos, as they used to say, police interceptors, though I guess it would be the blues and reds for the American side, but yeah, our police force usually uses blue lights only in Britain. But yeah, nonetheless, we're starting this preview in the Dodge Charger. A bit of a boaty car, but most of the cars to be honest are quite boaty. As we try and go into this observatory, end up hitting the wall on the inside and the entry as well. So already got penalties racked up to 6 seconds. So it's not looking too good as we avoid the wall again. These slippery conditions are really not helping us here. I thought about taking the little shortcut there, but ended up not doing so because I just felt like it was way too risky as we go through the stilt sort of homes that are on the side of the cliffs here. Narrowly avoid these two cars which are just trundling along, so we have to go to the outside, and then we look to go down the hill towards the desert. Don't really know how there's so much rain on the track, on the road as there is in a desert, but to avoid that car we ended up colliding with the wall there, so up to 8 seconds of penalties and about half of the distance is down. As we get a bit of understeer in the tunnel and hit the outside wall of the tunnel there, narrowly avoid this car as we go to the outside, then the inside, and then back to the outside, get on the nitrous boost there, and now we're just hoping and praying that we can make it round in time quickly enough as we again go to the outside, cut into the inside to avoid that car, then go back to the outside, apply the boost, and end up going a bit too hot here into that corner and get another penalty. So up to 12 seconds of penalties. You can see why I didn't really like doing these preview or rapid responses when I was a kid. I'd always try and avoid them because it's so tricky on the police when you're trying to avoid the walls and cars and stuff. Otherwise you get loads of penalties. But I thought about taking that shortcut there, and in hindsight I probably should have, but I couldn't quite remember where the entrance was to it, so we ended up just going the long way round. But there's only 0.3 miles left as we come out of this final corner, and in the end, despite getting 12 penalties, we're comfortably across the line and able to stop this car in its tracks. So a good job from us. We get the distinction, But it's a bit of a surprise one, to be honest, because I thought when I was driving around, like, oh my god, this is going to be terrible. I mean, I keep crashing. I got 12 seconds of penalties, but in the end, it didn't matter, and we get promoted after finishing that event. So we're going to now be at Officer Level 2 for a total of 18 busts. We're doing pretty well in this series, so glad to be promoted on both sides. But we also get a new vehicle. We get a Lamborghini Gallardo LP 560-4 for a series that we cannot reach right now. We need to wait to get promoted for that one. But now we try and do the Sidewinder time trial on the racing side of things, and I decided to go for the Jaguar XKR as our choice of vehicle because we haven't used it yet, neither on the police side, and the target we want to be is 1 minute 42, as we've got 4.2 miles. It is 4 p.m. for the start time, and we recklessly drive onto the road, start the event, and see if we can get to the finish in the nick of time. But yeah, pretty interesting car to handle, should I say. Looking back at it, I probably wouldn't have driven this vehicle for this event, but we end up sticking with it as we go round the corner. The sun is shining and there is traffic, which is, I mean, fairly light compared to UK traffic, but still heavy enough to be a bit of a annoyance to us potentially, as we look to go for the inside of this corner. Ended up clipping the wall there, and we got 50 seconds done at this point. 2.1 miles still to go as we just race through, go through the natural tunnel that's sort of been made here, and then thought about going into the off-road, and we do end up going for it. Drift around, narrowly avoid the rocks, but end up hitting the exit barrier there, and then again through here close to the barriers as we find this shortcut, but of course we saw it in the last event, and then drift round this corner here. Almost clipped the exit barrier, but narrowly avoid it in the end. And with 0.3 miles to go, it's looking very tight here as the counter starts to flash, and we just about miss it in the end. So 1 minute 43.56 and a silver award, which is not good enough for me. So we go for a second attempt here, and we'll speed this one up a bit so you don't have to just look at me driving pretty normally. As we come around this corner, avoid the car on the outside, then the inside, flying through here at 2 times speed, and then we'll slow it back down on this corner because there's a magic van that's just appeared out of nowhere and has completely halted us in our tracks. But as we wind it forward once again, still loads of traffic. And then, yeah, I wanted to take the off-road again, but ended up crashing into a car and in the barrier. So this wasn't looking like a particularly promising one, and I got a bit confused as to where I was going for the off-road. So we go for a third attempt, hopefully third time is the charm, as we fly through to, yeah, start our third attempt, where hopefully we will make less mistakes. And something that I saw, which I think is a lot better to do through this tunnel, is to not really drift and to just go and stick it out on the throttle and lift if you need to. And then through here you can drift because it's a much tighter turn, as we avoid both of those cars again on the outside and the inside of the corner. And then we fly around this corner where I believe that is a police station, but I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember what is on the outside there. Fly through here. This time do not clip the exit barrier as we did with the police. fly through here, avoid these two cars which weren't placed in the best place, and again this car is a little bit further back, so I think they might use the same spawns every time, in which case we can see that we've already gained some time as we take that very close on both sides. Both shortcuts are looking like they've helped us a lot out here, as we get a slight tap on the back end of the car as we come out of the shortcut. But I think it might actually have helped to make us steer sort of in the correct direction. So this time though, so I had a voice crack there, we get across the line with 1 minute 37.95 gold awarded to us. So we're able to do it in the end by a good amount of margin. So you can see how quickly we were able to learn the track and get things done. But yeah, that took a bit too much time compared to what I was imagining it would, as we get the Audi R8 Spider for the Super Series as a car unlocked. But again, we can't actually, I don't think, use that one yet, so we'll have to wait and see how that one performs. But as we go in for the final event here, I'm the Sky, Interceptor is the mission we're looking to go for. So let's have the new equipment explained to us.
You have been granted the highest level of pursuit support. Command has approved the request for aerial response units. When in a pursuit, you can call in one of the helicopter units to assist you. The aerial unit will attempt to track the suspect and bring them to a stop with force. The helicopters are equipped with spike strips which they will attempt to drop ahead of any fleeing suspect. The units have a limited amount of fuel, so use any request wisely.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the fun begins, because my god, the helicopter is such a cool equipment that you're allowed to use in certain events, as we decide to drive the Shelby GT500. The conditions are rainy at night. 3 helicopters are allowed, 2 minutes for distinction. Let's go.
Officers in pursuit of an Audi TT heading east on Lakeside Avenue.
Confirmed. Suspect is exceeding all posted limits. Requesting assistance.
Interceptor assistance is en route to your location.
Affirmative command. Interceptor unit is on scene. I'm standing down.
Interceptor aerial support is granted for the duration of this pursuit. Bring him in.
So the helicopter's instantly charged here as we decide to deploy one, and then we get the confirmation that he's coming over, and this car just about dukes me and ends up going into this person's home. So very glad that we did call the helicopter, because that will be able to help us try and slow the car down and bring him in closer to us, as we clip the barrier there as well. But fortunately the rubber banding has helped us out a bit here, because we're now catching up to him a bit. And as you can see, I zoom in here, so when he goes horizontal to the line, as we end up hitting his own spike strip from the helicopter, so a bit of friendly fire there, and the suspect also deploys a jammer. But yeah, as I was saying, when the helicopter goes sideways onto the road, that's when you know that they'd deploy a spike strip. But let's have a listen to the helicopter that comes over. It is such a cool sound, it gives me goosebumps whenever I hear it, as the guy ahead tried to deploy some spike strips on us, but we avoided those ones, and the helicopter races ahead as it looks to try and find a spot to set down its own spike strip, as we make a slight bit of contact with this guy, but he starts to race off a bit here. As we zoom into the map, you can see the helicopter is posted up here on the corner of the bridge. The guy hits the spike strip, so that has allowed us to get in much more closer. He deploys a jammer to try and stop us there, and honestly I thought that hit would do a lot more damage than it did, which, yeah, pretty sad that it wasn't able to, as we deploy a helicopter. But unfortunately we're at a tunnel section. We've already used 1 minute and 54 of our time as he tried to deploy a spike strip, and yeah, we're not going to get distinction on this first try. So we speed it up here, and I end up missing as I tried to just tag him on the back there, but not able to. But the helicopter deploys a spike strip, he goes straight into it, and that is the event over. But I can tell you this much, I was not satisfied with a silver or a merit on our first attempt, so we go again to finish off this episode. Call in the helicopter, make a slight bit of contact with the civilian there, but this time the guy decides not to go into the house sort of garage driveway thing, and so we stick with him here and are able to deal almost a little bit of damage as we just about misjudge how close we were to his car. Did a little bit of damage there, tries to deploy a jammer, so we slam him to the bridge, trying to slow him down to allow our helicopter friend to deploy a spike strip, and he does in a really good area of the track. I end up missing this guy. He deploys a jammer, but he's right next to me here, and I slow down to let him pass so that I can sort of chase him. We deploy a helicopter once our jammer has been stopped, and again you can hear the amazing sound. I tell you, if the Rivals doesn't have a helicopter, then Need for Speed Hot Pursuit has got better equipment in my opinion, because this is sick. And so yeah, we can see the helicopters posted ahead of us. He deploys a spike strip, he gets the hit. That's left this guy on very low damage, and we can now just wait for him to arrive. Gives us a little shunt, but then we give him a massive shunt back, and that is his day over and out, thanks to the helicopter as well as ourselves, as we push him around a bit, and eventually once he lays to rest, that is him busted and arrested in 1 minute 25.46 with the distinction award given to us. So yeah, hopefully this end of the episode was really fun, because it definitely was for me. I mean, I love when you get to use the helicopter. It is such a cool thing. I don't think I've ever had anything as cool in a racing game as the helicopter, but we get a new vehicle in the end out of all of this, and it's a Mitsubishi Motors Lancer Evo 10 for the traffic police. So not really sure what it is about giving us, you know, pretty slow cars at this stage of the game, but there you go, that's what we have to deal with. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can go ahead and hit the like button, comment anything you enjoyed below, subscribe if you enjoy all of my content, dislike if you didn't like it, leave constructive criticism below. But until then, it's been Chief Dog 74. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.